A lot of families are touched by disabilities. Some disabilities you can see, others you cannot. Today, 1 person in 5 is living with a disability. Think about that.
Adam was born 3 months premature. He weighed 2 pounds and 4 ounces. And when he was born, they said to me, he will not live. And after 3.5 months of being in the ICU, the neonatal unit, they said to me, we think he's going to live. But because of everything he's been through, because of the prematurity of his birth, we think he'll have significant brain damage. And really, until I found UCP Heartland, that was the first time someone said to me, this is cerebral palsy.
Jack had a stroke in utero before he was born. And what originally happened with Jack is we took him in for his neck. His neck wasn't moving right. He wouldn't move it to the middle. He would only look to one side. And so we took him in for therapy for his neck. In the course of that, we got a wonderful physical therapist who said to me one day, you know, Liz, I think it's more than that. I think Jack has neglect.
Brain injury that was causing him to not acknowledge the left side of his body.
Growing up, since I reached milestones that Chip wasn't, they found out that he was diagnosed with autism fairly early.
So Chip was diagnosed when he was 14 months old. No one knew what autism was. And I remember it being very scary for my parents. They just didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what the future was going to be like for Chip.
No one says to you, no one walks into the room and says, here's a healthy child, and here's one who's going to have significant challenges in life. Be they health, be they developmental delays, whatever. No one says, which one do you want? I think as a parent, you also go through an adjustment. You realize this child is not going to follow the regular progression of childhood. They're not going to grow up and become more independent and live independently. Some children will and some won't.
We plan for the future, but you do it kind of one day at a time. You get, as we've experienced through his life, you think this is the path you're on, and then wham, you're headed off in a different direction.
As soon as he was diagnosed, we started going twice a week, 3 times a week, to try to help him. And I think without that early intervention, he probably wouldn't be as well off today as he is. But I think that you just have to be open to reach out and look for other people that you can talk with, whether that's calling an organization or talking to sometimes his therapists were great resources for me, and everyone I could kind of get help from.
He tests our patients a lot, but he's so funny in the way that he does it. He's such a joy to have around. I've learned how to treat others who are different from myself. Having Chip is very eye-opening because we grew up with Chip, and we've seen how autism has not only impacted his life, but how it's impacted the people around him. He has a really, really difficult time communicating. You can see it in his face that he struggles with his emotions, his extreme emotions like happiness and anger and sadness. He wants us to know how he's feeling, but really struggles with communicating that effectively.
I love being a twin, especially with someone like Chip, who maybe has a harder time communicating. I remember as a little kid, I used to try to communicate for him or share some of maybe what he was thinking with my family, because I thought that I had that special connection with him that twins have.
when you have a child like that, you advocate every single day. Well, I definitely was a known name to a lot of state senators and representatives, and the governor. I had no problem going somewhere and talking about the needs of children and people with disabilities. For myself and my son Adam, when we finally located UCP Heartland, and we realized all of the services that they helped provide, it just was a lifesaver.
The possibilities that all the clients have at UCP is enormous. They have the ability to sort of find their own limits rather than the limits that people have already set on them. I worked in a small team. I had two sort of instructors. One was Chuck and the other was Jessica, and both of them came in every single day with a very bright and positive outlook on the day, and this was definitely shown through the attitude of both themselves and the clients that I worked with, and so they sort of want to bring about the best of every single client possible.
Chip just enjoys being Chip. Autism does not limit what the individual can achieve. I think a lot of people think that having special needs creates limitations and prevents them from achieving their dreams. Chip has so many dreams, and he makes all those dreams possible.
He's not limited. There are so many possibilities for Chip. There are so many resources to help make his dreams come true.
Jack wants to be a pilot when he grows up. I really hope Jack can be a pilot someday, but it's kind of a struggle for us to try and figure out what are the different paths we need to take for him to be able to help him accomplish his goals.
Jack loves basketball, and he plays the Catholic Youth Council CYC basketball along with all of his classmates. He was at a game and actually scored. Even the kids on the other team jumping up and down and cheering for him was amazing. He said, "Mom, I was trying not to cry. I was so excited that I had actually scored."
For some kids, getting to play a basketball game is a blessing. I think one of the most important things about UCP Heartland is that they're there. Knowing that UCP Heartland is out there and ready to support people who they don't even know are looking for the additional support. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, and so be patient with yourself, be patient with your children, be patient with your spouse, and just make the best decisions you can make based on the information that's available to you at the time, and trust in that.
Imagine the possibilities that can happen for families. Then, imagine finding UCP Heartland as we work side by side with families to reach for their dreams. Together, with your continued financial support, more UCP Heartland families will find a way to capture those dreams. And one day, what was a possibility will become possible.